biggest company no one has heard of outside the trade in an industry no one thinks about. This Atlanta-based global leader now generates over $1.5 billion in revenue from buying, selling, transporting, and distributing frozen foods worldwide. Every day, over 300 AJC'ers trade poultry, beef, pork, even seafood, vegetables, and French fries around the globe. AJC's remarkable climb to the top of the food chain would not have been possible were it not for 40 years of dynamic leadership from one of Atlanta's great business partnerships. The faithful alliance between founders Jerry Allison and Eric Joyner created the company's heart and soul.
Jerry's the visionary, and I'm the executor. Jerry's very idea-driven. He can think of more ideas. I'm more data-driven.
Eric was always a good balance to my desire to just do it.
His attitude was very good, and just do it. I mean, before Phil Knight at Nike came up with just do it, Jerry Allison was saying just do it. And if it doesn't work, we'll figure it out and do something different. And that's what we did. So we had a tremendous bias toward action. And that bias toward action got us in a lot of trouble, but that bias toward action got us a lot of places because we were willing to try anything and make it work.
It's just been incredible. I mean, I couldn't have had a better partner. That's a fact. I don't think it could have been better.
I think both of us feel that, thank God for partners. Neither one of us, I'm sure, feel we'd be as far as we are today if we didn't have the other to fall back on.
Jerry and Eric's diametric personalities found complete harmony when it came to the business philosophies they formulated to guide the growth of AJC.
Jerry and I are serial entrepreneurs.
In the very beginning, when we started the business, we had the philosophy of making it easy for our customers and our suppliers. Just whatever they wanted, we would try to do it.
So let me give you an example. So if we were selling a customer in France, and we wanted to make it easy to do business, and he's in Lyon, France, what would that take? Well, does he speak English? Well, no. Then to make it easy, we'd have to have somebody that spoke French. He wanted to buy it in French francs. That would make it easier than trying to buy it in US dollars. We have to do French francs. He wanted to buy it delivered to his door in France. How would that happen? We'd have to learn about the transportation. From the flip side, from the supplier side, we want to make it easy to do business. We're not asking him to sell us in French francs. We say, we'll buy it FOB your plant. You don't even have to move it. We'll pick it up at your plant. We'll buy it in US dollars.
That philosophy still exists. We want to make it easy for our customer to deal with us.
What you have to understand about our business, we're a middleman and proud of it. But what that means is that you have to be of value to both the supplier and also to the customer. So those relationships are critically important because when you have a relationship, you can build trust. And when you have trust, then you can solve problems. We've always had the philosophy that people do business with their friends. You make friends of your customers or customers of your friends.
International trade is not for the faint of heart. It takes extraordinary planning and execution to navigate the risks and unknowns. AJC steadily expanded from its small Sandy Springs office to its current 15 worldwide offices to do just that, manage risk by being close to the customers in major global markets.
We always ask the what if.
If something can go wrong, it does. If an animal disease closes a market, the refrigeration unit goes off.
What are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about this? How am I going to deal with Iraq? How am I going to deal with Afghanistan, which we're now selling? How do you do business in Cuba? Those questions get a lot sharper because of our experience.
Once they're confident that their due diligence has been exhaustive and risks have been mitigated, they make it happen.
There's always a way to do the deal.
Those who are bold enough to take on the globe sometimes discover world history can be kind to those who are prepared for it. 40 years ago, trade beyond one's own shores was very limited. But out of simpler times came great opportunity.
In 1972, the world was much smaller. International trade was a lot smaller.
Just steadily since we've been in business, the world has been opening. Dictators opened up in South America, let product in. Russian market opened up. China opened up. The biggest change that's happened around the world is incomes are rising steadily. Even in Africa, We've just ridden the wave of rising incomes and rising number of people.
Being ready when opportunities presented themselves certainly played a role in their success. But Jerry and Eric know that without a doubt it was their team that took their creation to unimaginable heights.
The single most important thing to our business is the hiring, training, motivating, and retaining good people.
Jerry and Eric have built an impressive team of professionals, representing over 30 nationalities, fluently speaking more than 25 languages.
Developing a team that is multicultural, different values, and pulling them all together has been critical for us.
We count people as being our only significant asset. You know, all our assets go down the stairs every night, that's what we say. It's all about good people, constantly hiring the right people, ambitious people.
When somebody came through for the interview, even with a secretary, I wasn't really too interested in somebody unless they wanted my job. It's like building a family. I can't have a bunch of teenagers overnight. What's happened is it's taken 40 years to build our family.
Got an incredibly strong team all the way through.
AJC's incredibly strong team appreciates Jerry and Eric's relaxed leadership style.
I don't like to tell people what to do. I like to convince them that it's the right thing to do. And when they get convinced of it, I like to convince them that it's not right to do, to see if they can talk me out of my idea. A lot of companies have an open door policy. The boss sits in the office and leaves his door open. And I say, well, that's the way it works here. I just don't have a door.
That's a culture hopefully we never lose.
Jerry and Eric have accomplished more together than either could have ever dreamt of doing alone. A $1.5 billion global trading company moving over 800,000 metric tons of food from 30 countries to 120 countries every year.
People ask sometimes, well, did you ever envision that 40 years later you would be this $1 billion+ company? No. Our attitude was, and this was Jerry's attitude and my attitude, was just do better. We want to do better every year.
Like I tell people, we didn't invent anything. The first trader was probably Marco Polo, and they've been doing it ever since. We didn't do anything new. We just did it better. That's what we thought, and maybe it worked. By the way, this morning's paper said that India is going to be one of the biggest beef exporters in the world in the next 10 years.
I know, and you want to know how come we don't have an office on there today,
We're
right?
going to get the office going in India soon.